So go ahead and hollow the bowl like I have. I realize there's a lot of undercutting here with this particular shape, but you know, use whatever hollowing tools you prefer. And then you know, start looking at the overall design. Now that finial has been cut, and it looks okay, but I'm starting to realize that maybe it was too long relative to this shape and the diameter of this bowl. You know, very often with these type of boxes, I'll come down with a thin stem and then to a relatively wide base, similar to like a wine glass. But in this case, with this longer finial, I'm actually thinking I'm going to probably keep this a little shorter. Okay, my eye is sort of like, and you know, this maybe gives you an idea from that camera angle of what I'm talking about. We'll come in with a nice cove in here, maybe a little step or some kind of decorative part of the curve coming into the base. But I'm thinking it looks better shorter than longer. So we'll go ahead now and try to shape this on the fly, design on the fly. Which is really what I kind of enjoy with these one-of-a-kind pieces, because otherwise, you know, you're just making the same thing over and over again. So I know I'm going to have to clear this all out, and you know, I'm going to just probably stick with the spindle gouge for the majority of this. So it's a 3/8 inch spindle gouge. I'm just buying some space here. I've established where that bottom of that is on the inside. I'm just going to remove a lot more of this. So let me just again talk about the design on here. See, I'm starting to think that if we go too long, so if this is a certain distance, you don't want this portion, the main focus here, to be the same distance. So I'm going to make it short. We'll see how that goes. Might not work. We'll see. It's going to be kind of hard to make a nice cove with such small amount of room. But I certainly have to get this out of here. Now watch out, right? This is the catch waiting to happen right here. So buy a little more space this way. Start with the handle low and the edge up high. Is this too big here? Maybe. So I can go down a little bit more. That's starting to look nice. That fillet there, and we'll go out on even smaller. Hopefully you can see that. So again, this is a very tight cove. I don't have much room to work. Trying to blend it right in without too much score. There's a flat I don't like. Keep doing this, you're not going to have much of a base. Okay. Now I'm going to start thinking about, of course at this point you have to stop the lathe also. Let's see what we have in terms of, yeah, well, look, we certainly aren't going to make it that wide, that base, because there's some arc there, so we'll just get rid of that. let's see how the overall look is. You can see how nice that fits in here. You know what? That might work. What's nice too is that I'm thinking this is a beautiful little ring box for a lady. You know, she could put her fingers in here too. Her fingers are hopefully a lot thinner than mine. and not that it's a suction fit, but you know, if it was, or if it ever becomes. So I better fix this now before I get too thin. I'm just going to come in with the skew to make it a little nice sharp edged or intersection. But I certainly can't come in with that skew. I can come in with this skew, which is really a parting tool, but if I shear it now, I could refine that edge here. Kind of nice. You've maybe seen my sanding cone. I started the sanding cone with the idea from a pencil, right? Putting a piece of paper here, and you have this various diameter. So I could do it again with the pencil, or I could use my sanding cone. Because my sanding cone actually would fit in there nice. I'll wrap the sandpaper there, and listen, I wish I could get that so it doesn't need any sanding, but the reality is it does. And if you're using anything, when you first start out, you're going to be using maybe even 150, but even 220 and even 400 could kind of change that. So by having this form underneath and changing the diameter and moving the sandpaper, you could really get rid of any of the flats and create a really beautiful fair curve. Well, you don't want to see me sand, but you get the idea. I shouldn't even have 150. I think we can get away with, in this case, now I'm going to go to 220 and 320. But you know what? For the purposes of this demo, I don't think I'm going to do much sanding. I don't want too much dust. I got the fan off, and I certainly have the dust collector off. But you get the idea. Right? I think it'll look nice. Yeah, I do. Okay, you get the idea. Okay, I'll part it off. Should I put a little something there? A little, so that's end grain now. And surprisingly, you could, you know, you could go in with even the corner of your skew. But it looks like you can end up getting in trouble there. So let's see what else I have that could make a little groove. I could certainly use my shorter 1/2-inch skew. So this is an easy way to put you don't get carried away. I'm just going to put one here. I think that just adds a little interest. Usually you shouldn't do it twice. Because it never works out. You never get it in exactly where you want it, but that's okay. And now we're going to part this off. This is always a really wonderful moment for me. And again, this is just a seal coat. Beauty part about it is it comes off easy if you didn't want it. But it's a perfect base for almost any kind of finish. Just makes it that much nicer. You know the warning, don't use cloth. Why ask for trouble with the cloth getting wrapped around your finger? And even with the paper towels, I don't wrap them around my fingers. That looks nice. So you get the idea. Put some sanding and all. That makes for a nice box. He's got some nice figure. Okay. Not that bad. Still a little dumpy. Thanks for watching.